Oh, shit. What's up? Didn't see you there, my man. Well, I was gonna shoot a video today, kind of showing my dry fire practice, like kind of the tools that I use to practice dry firing. I've got a competition tomorrow, and the first one I've shot in a while, so I was gonna shoot a video about that because I am gonna do some dry fire this afternoon. But while I was at the gym, I saw this interesting story. I don't really watch the news. I don't pay attention to it at all. It really has no bearing on my life or goals. Like, and I'm of the belief if something important enough happens, someone's going to tell me about it. There's just no point to really giving yourself the option to look at stuff that's bad for your brain. Really, at the end of the day, it's all fear based. It's all a form of control. So this story that I saw is about, I guess, the governor of Florida imported, or not imported, deported from Florida about 50 migrants up to Martha's Vineyard, which is a little island town where a lot of influential politicians have residence in. I don't know a whole lot. I don't know the entirety of the situation. I do know that people were up in arms about it because oh, we have all these people we don't know here now all of a sudden showing up in our trusted safe community, and a lot of them influential people on the left and right, I think. Again, I don't know the entirety of the facts. This isn't a factual debate. This isn't really going to be about necessarily politics. But what bothers me about the leadership in this country, and again, I'm not going to get political here per se, both right and left are guilty of this, is just the lack of true leadership. It's just appalling. So as a leader, you're never going to ask someone to do something that you aren't willing to do yourself. Like, that's one of the foundational elements of leadership. At least the leadership that I was taught, that I learned through my mentors in the Army and in the 75th. Like, you're not going to ask your guy to do something that you haven't done already yourself or that you aren't willing to do. That's just kind of, like I said, just basic leadership skills. So when I see that these politicians are, annoyed at these migrants showing up on their doorstep, but then they encourage policies that's what happens to a lot of Americans, is these migrants are showing up in their communities. And I'm not going to debate, whether that's a good or a bad thing, but the fact is there's probably people out there that don't want migrants showing up in their neighborhoods and on their doorsteps and in their communities. But they don't really get a choice in it, and they can't just come together and say get out. Otherwise, the media will make a absolute just will run with that story, and milk it for all it's worth. But when some wealthy politicians say, oh, we don't want them on our exclusive island, and then they use excuses like, oh, there's going to be more opportunities for them on the mainland. It's like, yeah, okay, that doesn't really hold up. So just the hypocrisy of the politicians and the level of leaders we have in this country is just kind of, I know it's been said before and it's been talked about ad nauseum, but it's just really frustrating to see people not really, they're talking the talk, but they don't walk the walk themselves. Like, I would love to have seen, whoever, I think Kamala's got a house on Martha's Vineyard, but I would love to see her, like, bring migrants into her house, but of course she's not going to do that. I mean, there's talk of national security concerns and what have you, but like, I don't think she's living there most of the year. Like, surely she could find a way to house some migrants that showed up instead of just offloading them onto the mainland of Massachusetts, you know? Another thing that bothers me, kind of in the same vein, is just the lack of physical presence that most politicians have. You know, like, we have all these old men and women, and it's like, man, like, why can't we have a young dude who's physically in shape, who's done something in his life, be in charge instead of literally old men and women who've been in office for half a century, who aren't doing anything really new. It's just frustrating. I think there should be some kind of physical requirement to be able to hold the highest office in the land. You know, like you should be able to bench at least 2 plates to be president. I think personally, like that should be part of the qualifications. You know, 35 years old, U.S. citizen, can bench 2 plates, or overhead press his body weight, or squat 400 pounds, something like that, to show that they haven't just been in the realm of intellectual pursuits their entire life. Like they need to be well-rounded individuals, and that's not what we get, and it's really disappointing because there are plenty of men, I feel like, in this country that, given the opportunity or given the desire to hold that office, would maybe be more inclined to try it out if it was a little more of a level playing field, instead of just getting all these, nothing against the Ivy Leaguers, but like Ivy League dudes that are in the clubs. But I know that's not how it works. It's all a big game, and it's hard to get into that without compromising yourself. Ideal world, though, you got to be able to bench 2 plates to be president. If you want to be vice president, you got to be able to bench 2 plates too. I think to be a senator, like, maybe we make it for any kind of office. You gotta be able to bench 2 plates or overhead press your body weight. Like, I think that would solve a lot of the problems. I think that really would. Yeah, so that's it. Tomorrow I'll be on the lookout for. I'm gonna borrow my buddy's GoPro, I think, and wear that during the match, and then have my other buddy film from behind. It's a USPSA match. Should be pretty fun. Just gonna be running my Glock 19, the limited, baby. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been a minute. So that's all I got. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the sunlight before I go back in and do some more sewing and prep for tonight's restock of the Ranger Green SMG rigs, as well as the launch of the M81 rigs. Very limited. If you don't follow my business page, Rockwell Designs Actual, go check it out. Got some pretty cool stuff on there. If you're an AK or a G3 FAL kind of guy, I've got some chest rigs. And then if you like, got an MP5 or a KP9 AKV, I've got these SMG rigs for you as well. Not really doing anything with the AR-15 mags. That market's pretty saturated. So I was like, I've got my niche here. I'm cool with it. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Be on the lookout for videos tomorrow. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We've been growing pretty quick. We should hit 600 by the end of the day, which pumps me up. But yeah, have a good one.